How has your partner made you feel safe during your relationship? Edit. Thank you all for your thoughtful responses. It's nice to know so many amazing humans exist on this planet. Edit 2. Thank you so much for the award.
Talking is enough for me. Talking weekly, or something like that, about our relationship, and how we can grow and improve. We also talk about what problems we need to work on. We talk about our feelings, how they have changed or grew, and pretty much everything under the sun. It makes me feel very safe knowing that they can be honest with me.
I can't even describe it, but in nearly 10 months he's never once raised his voice, or given me the silent treatment, or got leery when drinking. From an ex-husband who would drink heavily and suddenly look you dead cold in the eye after dancing with you and go, "I hate you. You are a cunt," and then proceed to hit things and rage. I cannot describe how bloody peaceful it is to spend time with a man who cuddles you and lays his head in your lap while you his head. Who strokes your hair while your head is on his shoulder and kisses your nose when you look up at him.
Frequent check-ins and discussions about our goals and future. My husband is more outspoken than I am, but also understands that sometimes it takes me a little bit to process how I feel about something. He's really good at giving me that space, yet also asking the right questions, without rushing me, to help me figure myself out.
There was a woman at a table at Target handing out candy and anti-vax propaganda. I had just started treatment for cancer, and my immune system was saying a word. Husband gathered up all the woman's cards and pamphlets and threw them in the trash. Red heart. Less grand gestures. He's always there, helping. A guy who takes out the recycling and cooks dinner is one who will have my back in other that he loves me. All the me how my oncology visits go and how my immune system is doing, so he knows how affectionate to be.
A few months back when I recently had surgery, I was insecure about my scars. My partner went on and kissed my scars and I felt so safe.
He doesn't leave. He has never walked off in a disagreement. He would refuse to leave when I would tell him to in the early days, before I learned how to communicate. That's the big one for me. He's a very steady, predictable man who very rarely raises his voice and meets everything logically. His steadiness has given me the safe space to learn to shed the chaos of my childhood. He allows me to act without big negative consequences. Even if he's in a terrible mood, he will reassure me, explaining he's just annoyed from work or whatever, as I can't seem to shake that a man throwing off angry vibes is a frightening thing.
That's wonderful. You are very lucky to have each other. Ugh, I'm so happy you met someone so amazing after the terrible experience with your ex. He sounds very emotionally mature. That man truly loves you. Revolving hearts.
He does a lot, but the one thing that really stuck out was when I'm highly anxious. I don't tell people my problems. I like that people think I'm confident and dependable, so I keep my issues to myself. But when there's a situation that people expect me to take care of and I am starting to sweat myself, my partner puts one hand behind my back and rubs it a bit. Sometimes scratches my back or the back of my arm. I feel really safe and reassured. I like that he seems to be the only person who can tell I'm starting to get uncomfortable.
When I first went out with him on June 16, 1979, 10 minutes after we met, he asked me if I would be his girlfriend. Then he said, "That means I don't see anyone else and you don't see anyone else." I said yes because I had never been out with a guy before and didn't know how to navigate how to talk to someone you were interested in or anything. He made it very clear what he wanted, and I was very thankful for that.
He took care of and supported me during very unsure and difficult times in life, kept me calm and brought me to urgent care when I broke a bone, sat with me and my family in the hospital while we said goodbye to my grandmother for the last time. The list goes on. His love and support mean everything to me.
Emotionally, he showers me with affection and affirmations that he loves me and only me. I've always felt secure in our relationship. Physically, he's very competent at inflicting violence when needed. I know it's not a popular outlook, but we live in a dangerous city and this isn't the Disney Channel. Sometimes people fight and I'm glad he knows how. I feel bulletproof around him because of that, and it's honestly an immense feeling of relief.
He's repeatedly shown himself to be reliable, reasonable and trustworthy in everything he says and does. He's always showing me how much he cares for and loves me. I feel safe knowing I can talk to him about anything and there's no judgment, only understanding.
It's hard to describe. He is my safe place. He is patient, supportive, understanding, doesn't judge, has never raised his voice, goes above and beyond to resolve things instead of just letting them sit.
This description described my boyfriend too. I can agree it is so nice to have someone that will actually stay and willing to help me or us get through an issue rather than storm off and leave me alone. I love how he's there for my anxious moments and reassures that I'm okay and he's here. It definitely helps to see and believe it that I'm okay and I'll get through this, and it's never worth leaving someone to deal with. So glad you have an amazing man in your world.
In the beginning of our relationship, I had a lot of problems due to past emotional abuse. I was constantly accusing him of things and getting angry with him. Every single time, I was met with nothing but patience and compassion. He never raised his voice, he never tried to deflect the blame, he just heard me out and then explained his side. He let me say everything I wanted to say in the heat of the moment, and then comforted me when I was in tears over the guilt of the things I had said. Granted, I was never being straight up mean or insulting him, but I'm still grateful that he understood I was just saying I didn't mean because I was angry. Now that I've healed emotionally from those past abusive relationships, I will spend the rest of my life giving him all the love and respect that he's always given to me, even when I didn't deserve it. I feel more safe with him than I've felt with anyone I've ever known in my whole life.
It sounds like he really gets you. That's really important to have, especially given that you're a private person when it comes to your own problems. That's really sweet. I'm glad he's taking such good care of you. That's honestly such a gift. You're right, we don't live in Disney Channel. It's important to feel physically safe with your man. I'm learning that's really important to me too. To be honest, I asked this question because last night I was alone and a man came out of nowhere and hit me. My man wasn't around, but I think even if you were here with me now I wouldn't feel physically reassured. I'm not sure what that means for us yet. I've been thinking maybe I'm asking for too much. I don't know what would have happened had he been with me, but he's a gentle creature and I'm not sure if this urge to physically protect is something he has.
Absolute king crown.
I'm allowed to have bad days without them being about him, and I didn't realize how much stress that caused me until it was gone.
Indeed we are.
I'm an overthinker, so he's an over-explainer for me.
It's ironic because in the beginning, he was a selfish person, and I questioned if this guy had no empathy at all. We struggled the first 2 years of our relationship, and now, in the recent 2 years, he seems to be able to tell if I am happy, or faking it, or the difference between spacing out per day, dreaming versus having traumatic flashbacks. And his hand always comes at the right thing. Our energy finally came in sync together lately and it's amazing.
His voice is soft and calm unless he gets excited about something. I'm pretty sure it gets softer around me. When I want to talk about something with him, he lets me do it while I lay in his arms or hold his hand. It feels nice. He doesn't rush me to get it out. Our random check-ins at work help a lot. It's a good shift when he's there.
My fiancé literally does the most for me. He made me a stay-at-home dog mum and told me to use that time to work on my mental health. He pays for my therapy and celebrates my recovery milestones. When we first got together, we lived in a very conservative area and I was unhappy, so he bought me a house in an area that's more diverse. This doesn't even scratch the surface on all the ways he takes care of me, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. He literally moves mountains for me and would do anything to make me feel safe and happy.
Even after 3 years, he still asks for my consent, especially if he wants to go down on me, because he knows I'm really self-conscious sometimes and don't feel comfortable. He just never takes for caress me, slowly from my neck to my hips and be like, "May. Oh boy, this so hot every time. I love this man."